Hey everyone, Nick DiVirgilio here from Gretsch Drums, and I am at the legendary Memphis Drum Shop here in Memphis, Tennessee. This is a world-class destination for drummers, known not just for its incredible gear and expert staff, but for its massive online presence that connects drummers from all over the globe. So whether you're here in Memphis or watching from somewhere around the world, chances are you've come across this amazing shop. I'm gonna go inside, hang out with owner and founder Jim Pettit. We're gonna talk drums, we're gonna talk shop, we're gonna get out of this hot heat and just have a great time. So let's go check it out. Well, Jim, thank you so much for having me at your shop. This is an amazing place. My first time here. I mean, it's from a drummer's perspective, this is a super cool joy to see what you've created. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
How did you get your start? How did this kind of come to,
I had
the beginning?
Too many drums at home.
Okay.
And I had a good friend that had the idea of starting a shop.
Right.
And we did that. And so we just put our heads together and did it. And it was a week before we sold the first drum of anything. I'm going, but you know, it's worked. It's been a very slow, organic growth.
Sure. How many years has it been?
38.
How much gear did you have when you first started?
Oh, you know, like 4 or 5 kits, maybe
right.
2 or 3 snare drums, you know, just really basics, really basics.
And what was the music scene like in Memphis? Because you've been here your whole life, you were telling me, in Memphis, Tennessee. This is an iconic music town.
Yes.
Rock and roll pretty much started around here in these parts, Elvis and everything else, Little Richard and all kinds of things. What was the music scene like in Memphis when you started?
Well, it was big, but actually not unlike today.
Okay.
You know, it's very much the same. The only thing that's really changed has been, you know, as the music has changed, but ironically, a lot of that music hasn't changed.
Right. Church
music is incredibly big here, and there's new contemporary worship, but there's still old school gospel worship. Mm-hmm. And of course, COVID flipped everything for, you know, a bit, but it's all back now. There's a ton of music, live music in Memphis.
And as you were just telling me before we started this talk here, you play in 12 bands.
Right.
And you have, what, 4 or 5 gigs coming this weekend or something?
Yeah, 4 this weekend, yeah.
So how do you juggle playing that much? Because I'm sure it takes some time to rehearse and learn and then running this place.
I figured out a long time ago that I wanted the drum shop, but I didn't want to just do that and have all these great customers, and they get to go play the gigs and I don't.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'm out here, guys. I got a gig. You know.
So when did you? That's cool. So when did you start playing drums?
Oh, when I was about 12.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about 12.
What got you into the instrument?
I started off on guitar, I thought, and I realized I couldn't play guitar. And I said, well, maybe I'll try the drums, and it's just been a love affair ever since.
Amazing.
You know.
Can you tell us a bit about what the Memphis Drum Shop, the role of this drum shop plays in the music community here in Memphis?
Well, we're a big part of the music community, of course, especially for the drummers.
Of course.
And we're seeing, it's just happened actually in the last few years. It's been very interesting. We have a lot of guys, of course, that grew up in the shop. I mean, got their first drum set here and grew up. And now they're touring with, you know, the big names or whatever.
Sure.
And but they come back and they talk about stories about their mom and dad bringing them in to the shop, you know, the first time. So it's really, it's heartwarming for that too, man, to hear that. And we have a lot of outreach. We have a lot of community involvement with all the drummers and the bands and stuff, and some of the local establishments too.
Okay. Well, that's a good segue into this question we were kind of talking about in your office a little while ago. You have a big online presence. You ship stuff all over the world here, but you're also very community focused too. And and the reason I'm doing these sort of dealer spotlights is to focus in on the local drum shop and sort of the importance they play with local players to be able to come and see and play and feel instruments, take lessons and all that kind of stuff. So how do you balance both things?
Well, you know, actually a lot of our customers, you know, you could say, what is your online business versus your in-store business? We can't really rate that because much of our in-store business comes from an online customer that travels and comes here. Mm-hmm. You know, they shop us online, but then they want to come here and actually see, feel, hear, touch. Right. You know, they've narrowed it down online, but then they want to come here and do it. Right. So that works out good for us, you know. And if we didn't have our online presence, we couldn't have the inventory depth that we have, which is great for the local, for the in-store, but yet it's the website that allows us to do that.
Sure.
You know.
The mycymbal.com, I mean, you have do you have a number on the amount of cymbals you have in this shop?
Several thousand.
Several thousands. And you guys take a lot of time to sample the sounds of these cymbals, so people, when they shop for one online, they could hear that cymbal and buy that exact cymbal.
Yes. Well,
how important is that?
Well, it's important because, and it's important to me personally, because you mentioned earlier about me starting out on the drums. When I started out on the drums, of course, I knew nothing, and I would go in a music store, and there would be 3 cymbals, you know, and I'd go bang, 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 and I'd go, something's wrong with me because I don't like any of those, you know. And of course, there just wasn't any exposure. But now with mycymbal.com, there can be a guy in the middle of anywhere, and if he wants to hear a 26-inch hand-hammered cymbal, he can go hear one and buy that one, and the one that guy played. And it could be a well-known artist. It could be even his favorite drum artist that played it, and he gets that cymbal. So that makes me feel good that people everywhere can have that ability.
Now, are you sampling and recording cymbal sounds all the time here? It sounds like with that amount of inventory, you must be doing that quite a bit.
It's every day, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of expense, you know, because once that video is made and it's sold, it's gone.
Right. You can't reuse that video.
No. Right. The most expensive way in the world to sell a cymbal, but
it seems to have paid off.
But it's a good one. It's a good way to do it. We pride ourselves, and we get many comments on how, you know, yes, is it better to play the cymbal in person? Well, okay. But if you can't do that, we're the second best then. And we've been told many, many times that we get the right sound. It sounds like when you play the cymbal. That's the sound we get, and that's the trick.
Okay, so how long have you been working with the brand Gretsch? Because I work for Gretsch, that's why I'm here talking to you. So how long have you been working with Gretsch, and what does that mean to a shop like this?
Well, Gretsch means a lot to me. It was my first real drum set. Ever since I think I saw a picture of Elvin Jones, you know, and Mel Lewis, I went, I want to do that, you know. And Midnight Blue Pearl was my first Gretsch kit, and I still love that finish today. Nice. You know, so it's and we've been involved in Gretsch since the very beginning of the shop. So, and of course, Gretsch has gone through, you know, all the different eras, but it's worked well for us, and we still love it. In fact, I'm ordering a kit today, a custom kit for a guy.
Nice.
You know.
And we're sitting in front of some really cool Gretsch kits right here. What do you think keeps the brand Gretsch, who's been around for a long time, relevant and inspiring for drummers today? Is it the history? Is it that great Gretsch sound?
You've already answered that great Gretsch sound.
Oh, okay.
You know, there is a history, and I think that's important to some people. But you know, it actually, when you sit behind the kit, it's got to do the job. You know, history doesn't matter much if you don't have the sound.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, so it is that sound, and it's just that, and the look, and it's just something about Gretsch drums that, I mean, once you, some guys are really Gretsch fanatics. Right. I mean, and there's a reason. There's a reason for that.
Any great Gretsch finishes that really catch players' eyes? 'Cause they got some really cool, unique finishes over the years. That satin flame one right there is absolutely beautiful. Yes. What's popular today? What catches the eyes of most players?
Boy, it's all across the board, really. You know, sparkles are still great. They love the glass. Yeah. You know, they love the glass. The satin flames have kind of come back quite a bit. And then just a lot of the natural, the walnut, you know, I mean, that classic walnut and natural maple, you just can't beat it. Right. And that was my third Gretsch kit, was walnut.
Do you still have the old Gretsch kits?
There it is. Bought that one in '72.
Wow,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It is a gorgeous color.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's cool. The history in this building is incredible. Okay, what kind of Gretsch kits do you find resonate with players mostly today? I mean, rock kits, bop kits, sort of all over the map kind of a thing? Is there a certain...
It's a little bit, for us, Gretsch tends to be more on the jazz side. Okay. You know, the 2012-14 is incredibly popular, and then of course the 18. But the 2012-14 is the one that kind of does a lot of both. Right. So that's what we do mostly.
Okay.
Quite a few 22s as well.
Okay.
And every once in a while 24. And everybody says 24 is coming back, and I don't know. You know, we'll see.
I'm playing, because I'm spoiled at home making my videos, and I got a little bit of everything to mess around with, and I've been setting up a big kit, which is very big for me, but 24, 10, 12, 13, 16, 18. Yeah. And it is just a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
To hear that huge kind of cannon of a kick drum. They play really well too, because it's easy to play, but man, oh man, having the big drums.
Well, I tell people, just like a 24-inch cymbal, they say, oh, I would never play a 24-inch bass drum. I say, well, just don't, because you'll be,
That's right.
Just don't ever do that, because you're going to like it
right.
if you do, you know.
It's fun. Different flavor, but super fun to play.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Sure. What do you think makes that great Gretsch sound sort of stand out in the marketplace? What is it about that sound that stands out amongst all the others? Because there's lots of great drums in the world.
There's a lot of great drums in the world, but I think too a lot of it comes from the player.
Okay.
You know, was it Art Blakey said, you know, it's not the drum. He said, I make the sound.
Yeah.
Of course, the drum is involved in it, but you know, if you've got an artist and he's a Gretsch artist, and you know, that sort of tells you something of what he's thinking.
Gotcha.
And that portrays, like, I was at a NAMM show, this was a few years ago, and I was in the Gretsch booth. And everybody knows what a NAMM show sounds like, you know, like that. You know, you were hearing 50 drummers and 80 guitar players at once. But I heard something behind me. I was just like, oh, what is that? It sounds like a record. I mean, it sounds like, and I turned around and it was Steve Ferroni. Playing this Gretsch USA kit, you know, and I'm going, okay. So that's really stood out. So that was, to me, the drummer Gretsch sound coming through the drums.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense.
No, it totally makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've witnessed that several times.
So how do you help players from beginners to pros, you know, achieve the right sound, get them what they're looking for?
Well, a lot of that comes from our teachers here.
Okay.
But if they're not taking lessons here, then we work with them individually. And of course, there's always budget involved.
Of course.
But, you know, we just try to see first of all, what kind of music are they playing?
Right.
And we just try to guide them that way.
Right.
Into what gear best suits their sound and where they are in their development. Not long ago, I had a guy came in and he just said, I hate my drum sound, but I don't know what to do. And can you tune my drums? And so I said, bring your drums in. So he brings them in. There's like 18 pillows in the bass drum and, you know, and 2 tons of tape everywhere. I say, okay. I said, I'll tune your drums. We're going to rehead them and we're going to tune them. And you take them home, but you have to promise me this. For 2 weeks, you're going to play them just like this and do not touch anything. Do not retune them. And I said, and you're going to hate it. But in 2 weeks, you come back and see me.
Okay.
And of course, I tuned them, you know, open and nice and resonant and full.
Sure.
He comes back in 2 weeks and he said, oh my God, I will never play dead drums again. You know, because they hear a sound on the radio and they think that's the sound that the drum is.
Right.
So no, you know, you got to think of projection. You got to think of a near field, far field. All that matters, you know. So, yeah, we try to guide them that way.
Yeah, and you gave them a valuable lesson.
It's a tough pill sometimes for some of them to take, but you know, but it works.
And he stayed the course, I imagine.
Oh yeah, he said, oh yeah, he loves it now. He said, I've got drums now.
Amazing.
You know, we have a great staff.
I'm sure you have experts all around.
Yeah. Fantastic staff. They're all working drummers.
Okay.
You know, which I love. And yes, they have to take off work and go play a gig, just like I do. But I love that, you know, because that puts them, they really know what they're talking about, and they can relate to the working drummer that comes in.
Sure.
You know, they share the same issues, whatever they are. So that's what we do.
How many employees do you have here at the shop?
14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with all the vintage stuff you have here, how does the newer products that come out from Gretsch, and other companies too, but how does the new compare to the old?
Well, it's It compares very favorably. The thing about the vintage is cool as long as the hardware works, and you know, when you really get into real vintage, then you got to make sure that the hardware it's the main thing.
Right.
You know, the new gear has that sound, but it works.
Right.
It's easy. Right. So that's really the main comparison. You know.
Yeah, the technology in drum building has really kind of
Yes.
come quite a long way.
Right.
But Gretsch is still building drums like they have always have, with better hardware, of course.
Right.
So how do you compare old Gretsch, even 80s Gretsch, to 2025, 24 Gretsch?
Well,
Or can you compare that?
well, you can't compare it, but again, it's different eras. So Gretsch was, like all drum companies have improved in their production. The quality of Gretsch drums is better than it's ever been. I mean, there's no question about that. But yes, the vintage has something to do with it too, the vintage side of it and the age of the drum.
Right.
You know.
You took me into that amazing Gong room.
Yes.
And how did that come about? How did you start selling gongs?
Wow, I've always been fascinated by gongs ever since I was a kid.
Right.
An old company in New York, Carroll Sound. I don't know if you ever heard of Carroll Sound. Yeah, where I bought my first gong many years ago. But of course, I was a Paiste cymbal dealer.
Right.
And got more into the gongs and really wound up then with a distributorship.
Okay.
And so now we sell Paiste gongs to many people. And it's in the last few years, sound healing and that side of it, that aspect of it has really exploded. Mm-hmm. The sound therapy, the sound healing. We sell gongs to VA hospitals to treat veterans with PTSD, you know. So it's a sort of a little bit of a subculture, but it's a big world. It's a big subculture.
It's not all John Bonham whacking the gong while it's on fire.
People think that we sell, when they say we have gongs, they think we sell to symphonies or rock and rollers like that. And that's not really true. That's a very, very small part of our business. The other day I did get a phone call and I wasn't really paying any attention. This guy says, yeah, I need a gong and then I can stand, and he says, his name is David Roth, and I said, great, and all that. And I said, okay, what's the name on the card? He said, David Lee Roth. I went, okay.
Got it.
Got it. And send this gong to Diamond Dave's touring, you know. So
nice.
Got it, you know.
There you go.
So we do a little rock and roll too, but you know.
So this question just came to my head since we were talking about the cymbals and how you sample each one so people can hear it online. Can you do that with a gong?
Yeah, and we do.
Okay.
Mygong.com.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, same thing.
Now, because I mean, the resonance of one gong hit could last for 5 minutes. I mean, how do you work around that kind of thing?
It's imperative. Well, we record them very well.
Right.
We know how to record them. And it's imperative we insist that people, when they're shopping for the gong online, you have to wear headphones.
Right.
I mean, you know, phone and computer.
No, you can't get the same.
No, you're not going to get it. You have to have headphones to really get an idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it works, obviously.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for this unique opportunity to talk with you and chat with you about your store, the history, your history with Gretsch as a company, and just thank you for everything.
Absolutely.
Wish you all the best for success for the future, and hopefully I get to come back here again one day.
You are invited.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Whether you're here in Memphis or browsing from somewhere around the world, the Memphis Drum Shop is a must. The passion for drums runs really deep here, and they know Gretsch inside and out. So whether you walk in or click in, you're in for an amazing experience. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.